Welcome to today's Explainer. You know, every World Cup champion has great players. Some have football geniuses, some have absolute tactical masterminds. But when you really look closely at those iconic moments, right when a single player is lifting that golden trophy, you realize they all share one specific thing.
So, what do all these champions actually share? Think about it. You can have a squad completely filled with tactical masterminds, but when the game plan goes totally out the window and the entire system feels like it's just falling apart on the biggest stage imaginable, what's the common thread holding the victors together?
It's a captain, that one player who literally carries the pressure of an entire nation on their shoulders way before the final whistle even blows. The leader who keeps the team together when everything is chaotic. Today, we're exploring the unforgettable captains who led their countries to World Cup glory and the incredible leadership lessons that made them absolute legends.
Okay, let's dive right into this. On our agenda today, we're looking at 5 distinct styles from 5 legendary captains. Franz Beckenbauer's control, Diego Maradona's inspiration, Cafu's resilience, Fabio Cannavaro's example, and Lionel Messi's evolution.
Starting with Chapter 1, Franz Beckenbauer, the Emperor of Control. Let's step back to the 1974 World Cup. The tournament was completely dominated by this seemingly unstoppable Netherlands team. Led by Johan Cruyff, they were basically playing football from the future. Most people thought West Germany had absolutely no answer. But, well, they underestimated the man leading the German side.
The contrast in styles was just striking. You had the dynamic, free-flowing Dutch going up against the calculated control of Franz Beckenbauer. Known as Der Kaiser, he wasn't the loudest guy on the pitch. He really didn't need to be. While everyone else was reacting to events, Beckenbauer was seeing the game several moves ahead. He controlled the chaos.
And you know what? That kind of confidence becomes totally contagious. During the 1974 final, the absolute nightmare scenario happened. The Dutch scored in the first 2 minutes. But panic? It never even reached the German dressing room because their captain remained entirely composed. His calmness literally spread through the entire squad. Which brings us to our first lesson. Great leaders don't create panic. They create clarity. Because Beckenbauer kept a cool head, West Germany recovered to secure a historic 2-1 victory. He proved the most powerful thing a leader can do is remain steady in the storm. Moving on to Chapter 2, Diego Maradona, the man who inspired a nation. Fast forward to 1986. While Beckenbauer was the master of calm, Diego Maradona was a pure force of nature. He inspired a squad that, honestly, many didn't even consider the strongest in the tournament. Maradona led through sheer, extraordinary determination. I mean, he put the hopes of all of Argentina on his back. Every run, every pass, every dribble, every single moment. His teammates didn't just play with him, they watched him defy logic against teams like England and Belgium, and it made them believe they were invincible too.
And that's exactly why people follow belief before they follow strategy. Argentina didn't win in 1986 just because they were the best team on paper. They won because their captain convinced them beyond a shadow of a doubt that victory was entirely possible.
All right, Chapter 3, Cafu, the power of resilience. Let's talk about 1998. The Brazilian national team had just suffered a devastating 3-0 defeat to France in the World Cup final. The entire nation was pretty much in a state of shock. So a lot of players never really recovered psychologically from that defeat. But Cafu? Actually, scratch that. He didn't just recover, he used that crushing failure as fuel. He refused to let it define him. By 2002, he returned as captain. He was older, more experienced, and fiercely determined, becoming the absolute emotional heartbeat of the team. He kept everyone positive and completely focused. And the result of that unwavering emotional support? The number 5. Brazil won a record-breaking 5th World Cup title. It was a direct result of Cafu pushing a haunted team toward historic greatness. So the takeaway here is that the strongest leaders turn setbacks into motivation. True resilience isn't about never failing, it's about taking your absolute worst moments and transforming them into your ultimate driving force. Chapter 4, Fabio Cannavaro, leading by example. Okay, picture Italy in 2006. Italian football was embroiled in this massive domestic scandal. The nation was completely divided, and the pressure on the team was just enormous. Right in the middle of all that chaos and division, Cannavaro didn't use flowery words or big speeches to unite his team. He answered with action, a complete defensive masterclass throughout the entire tournament. Every single tackle, every interception, every towering header communicated one very clear message: we will not break. His physical consistency basically created an impenetrable wall. Because Cannavaro was flawless, his teammates elevated their own game to match his standard. Opponents literally struggled to find any weaknesses in the Italian armor. They conceded almost nothing, ultimately defeating France on penalties. It beautifully shows that the most powerful leadership often comes through example. When the external noise is deafening, words can easily fail, but relentless, physical action, showing up and doing the hard work flawlessly, that cuts right through the noise and pulls a team together.
Finally, Chapter 5, Lionel Messi, the evolution of a leader. For years, one persistent question hung over arguably the greatest player of all time. Could this notoriously quiet superstar ever deliver on football's biggest stage like Maradona did?
Messi's story is a bit different. It's not about instant leadership. It's about deep transformation. After years of really painful defeats and heartbreaking lost finals, we witnessed something remarkable. He evolved. Forged through all that heartbreak, he became visibly more vocal, protective, and emotionally connected to his squad, leading right into his final challenge at Qatar 2022.
And in Qatar, he delivered the complete package in one of the greatest campaigns ever seen. Critical goals, unbelievable assists, fierce focal leadership, boundless inspiration, and ultimately, redemption. By defeating France in one of the most chaotic finals in history, Messi completed football's most famous unfinished story.
It proves that true leadership is an ongoing evolution, adapting, changing, and evolving your own personality to meet the specific emotional and tactical needs of your teammates over time is the ultimate mark of a legendary captain.
Which leaves us with one final thought for this explainer. What kind of leader will you be? Whether you find yourself leading a massive project at work, a small community, or just your own family, look back at these 5 legends. Will you provide the calm clarity of Beckenbauer, the fierce belief of Maradona, the unbreakable resilience of Cafu, the steadfast example of Cannavaro, or the continuous evolution of Messi? The choice is entirely yours. Thank you so much for joining me today. I challenge you to take these lessons and apply them to your own pitch. Keep learning, keep leading, and I'll catch you next time.